to foul right here. You just have to play good, solid defense. Do not give up a three, no and ones.
Clark and Wilson. Clark, her pass, taken away by Wilson. Shot clock off, 3 seconds. Chelsea Gray for three. Yes, ma'am!
Are you kidding me? Not have to foul right here. You just have to play good, solid defense. Do not give up a three, no and ones.
Clark and Wilson. Clark, her pass, taken away by Wilson. Shot clock off, 3 seconds. Chelsea Gray for three. Yes, ma'am!
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Yeah, exactly. Are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. That was, without a doubt, I would have to say, with the utmost confidence, a horrible friggin' choke job of a loss last night for the Indiana Fever. There is a ridiculous amount of blame to go around, but you got to call it the way you see it, and it might ruffle the feathers. It might disrupt the apple cart. It might upset some Caitlin Clark fans. But I got to tell you, on this Friday edition of On Cue, Rich Quiñones here, that game, if you want to be that generational talent, if you want to be the face, if you want to be her, then I got news for you. You can ill afford to have a turnover like Caitlin Clark had late in that game. You can ill afford to start off cold. You can ill afford to give up the rock like that. You can ill afford to not hit your shots. You can ill afford to miss free throws down the stretch. And last night proved a couple things if you are not only a WNBA fan, but if you're a Fever fan. The bottom line is this. The elephant in the room, two elephants in the room. Caitlin Clark is a fantastic generational talent. She's a star. She is a flawed star. The second is, they will never go anywhere with this head coach. They will never, ever go anywhere deep into the playoffs. There are no runs coming. I think the season, that's a gut punch loss. You had an opportunity, and I get it. It's basketball. It is a make or miss league. But there is no way on God's green earth that you are up 20 points at home and everything is just going your way. Then all of a sudden you get the substitutions, you get the lapses, you get the friggin' hero ball from Mitchell, you get the lackluster effort on defense, and you blow a 20-point lead. You have a team going a 22-4 friggin' run. And then finally, the MVP in Wilson, by the way, because Caitlin Clark played herself out of the MVP conversation last night. I'm sorry, that discussion is done. I'm not even bringing it up anymore. But you had these lapses late in the game. Make your friggin' free throws. Have some basketball acumen, some basketball IQ. And I am so tired of this coach with her substitutions, especially late in the game. And then Greg, who everyone criticized, should have been on the rock. Yesterday, what does she do? She hits a dagger three because, once again, Boston had the lapse. And then you go to overtime. That is a critical mistake by Caitlin Clark. Period. She does not get a pass today. Sorry, not happening. Not on a Friday. Not happening. And that's wonderful if you stay after and you run laps and you shoot free throws. This team is flawed. They had an opportunity to have their best win of the season at home. You cannot lose that game, period. And what the hell was going on that last possession? And this is where I got to hammer the coach. This is where I have to hammer the coach. Can someone please tell me why in the world you get the ball? Why didn't you get the ball across half court? You call a timeout. You set up that final possession. You're leading by one. You don't want anyone to panic. You draw something up. Go to the hole. Try to get the call. Try to get the foul. Folks, I'm sorry. That is a brutal friggin' loss. That is an absolute you had an opportunity to make a statement. And like I said, it's a make or miss league. We saw last night the Lynx loss. But if you're a Fever fan, if you are a Caitlin Clark supporter, you're a little quiet today. And the detractors are coming out in full force. Look, she started this game 0 for 6. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's a confidence issue. She is a streaky player, period. She's a streaky player. She's a great talent, but she is a flawed star. And I think both can be fair to say. I really do. I really believe that. This team with these defensive lapses, that's a game that's going to come back. See, the issue is this now. You have to be, and I'm going to get in the comments. We're going to open up early and often. Get in, as we like to say on a Friday. Get you some shout-outs as well. You have to, if you are Caitlin Clark, you have to be like Mariano Rivera, who rarely blew saves in the postseason. Rarely blew that save in October. But you got to forget about this game. You have to forget about this game. And I think a game like last night, it really kind of spoke to me because I still, the rhyme or reason with this head coach. The rhyme or reason with this head coach. So defensive subs, you leave Mitchell out there, who, oh, by the way, is the smallest guard on the floor, and then you take Clark out. And I'll play it again in a couple moments, but I want you to see the lackluster effort defensively late. The lackluster effort defensively late. Last possession, critical possession, and I don't want to hear about the referees today. I don't want to hear about the friggin' officiating. I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood for it. I'm going to tell you why. Yes, we know she gets fouled. Yes, you can question if she got fouled on that last play. Yes, you can sit there and say Wilson gets all the fouls. I get it. But you know what? Late in the game, when the ball went out of bounds, the Aces player clearly kept it in bounds. She saved it, and it went the other way. I don't want to hear about the referees. You got to friggin' close that game at home, national spotlight, national window, with the best team in the league, arguably the second or the best team in the league, a team that we know is a champ. We know that's won before. You can make a friggin' statement. And what do? They choked. They choked. There's no ways, you just cannot, I'm sorry. I know we don't like to use the word choking, but you cannot allow a player not only to make one, but two buzzer-beating three-pointers. It was a mental lapse by Caitlin Clark. She has to understand. You have to have the basketball IQ, and 99% of the time, she does. But she was also at the line. 2 free throws, 7 seconds left in regulation. Indiana up by 3. Then you lose the ball with 7 seconds going overtime, and you're ahead a point. Look, the 20 points, the 8 assists, but again, the wash. The 8 turnovers. I'm sorry, she's got to take the hit today. And I don't want to keep prefacing it by saying, fantastic player, generational talent. Even the great ones are flawed. Even the great ones make mistakes. And how about Wilson? Wilson basically told you last night, the MVP. Why? Because she was quiet in the first half, and then all of a sudden she friggin' dominated. She absolutely dominated. She took over that game last night. She took over the game. It was ridiculous. She had 8 points through 3 quarters, 16 in the fourth and overtime, scored 14 of Vegas's last 17, I think, 24 and 12, and the other, or I should say 6 points, were gray. That is as bad as a loss as you will see in a basketball game. And everyone should be held accountable and culpable. Don't get me wrong. DB chimes in, Clark did not have a good game, poor shooting, turnovers, etc. The Fever should be embarrassed by that loss. You had an opportunity to make a statement last night. You had an opportunity to make a statement last night. At home. With a huge lead. Do you realize, too, in basketball, when you have those types of lead, we know the game is all about runs. No one ever disputes that. We know that everything is about runs, man. You know it, and I know it. That's the beauty of basketball. You typically turn around, and when I used to write on these games for the Sports Network back in the day, you know what happens? You watch the game in the fourth quarter because we know it's all about runs. But the fact that you have, and by the way, there's a lot of culprits. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're paying Lexi for. I have absolutely no idea. There were so many mistakes on that last play. So many. And if you realize, you should have called a friggin' timeout to regroup, period. And they chose not to do it. But like I said, this is a game of runs. So even if you're up 17-19 and you get the +3, she knocks down a couple big threes here and there, 23 turns into 26. Now you play the game a little differently defensively. And offensively, if you're Aces, maybe you start chucking. When they had the lead in the second quarter, it was friggin' hero ball again. It was hero ball. Listen, Caitlin Clark absolutely deserves to take 100% of the blame on this one. She's got to own it, and she has. But tonight also, or last night I should say, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you guys are tuning in from, it's got to be on the head coach. It also has to be on the head coach. She is a liability. This head coach, she was brought in for what? Her defensive prowess. Where is it? It's non-existent. P. chimes in, basically played out exactly how I predicted on courtside. Dropped nothing but game, but no one wants to listen. I told him this was a big letdown game and the Fever would lose. All righty. Mrs. B, good morning to you in Vegas, baby. Good morning back to you. Look at you, little hot toddy, a little fresh cup of coffee in your hand, right? What do we got there? It's about 8:30, 40, and you're locking me in on a Friday. You are the best. Special Friday shout out to Miss B right there. Paul chimes in, Fever blew this game several times. I don't want to hear any CC excuses. She didn't play good. No one to blame but herself. Listen, the one thing I'll say this, the mental fortitude to keep going back and shooting, gotta love it, right? But that's just, it was a bad loss last night. Yeah, and I'm sorry. She's got to take the hit. Gray's a beast. I mean, she just has this clutch gene in her. She's not afraid to take the shot. She is not afraid to take the shot. I'm going to play that highlight again because I'm going to nitpick. I'm going to nitpick. I have to. 28-3, and her game is considered bad. Here's the problem with that. On any other night, now you left out one nugget. You left out, now, you know I love you, Miss B, but you left out one little nugget. She had costly turnovers. And you got to hit your free throws. So yes, you love the stat line, 20 points, 8 assists, but oh, by the way, the wash, assist to turnover ratio. Assist to turnover ratio. And it's funny too because I was on the air last night doing some NFL talk with my guy Lloyd Vance, and some of you guys were commenting, they're up by 10, they're up by 12, they're going to run away with it. And I was thinking to myself, not so fast, man. Never count the bag. Never count the change. That is as brutal as a loss as, I mean, that's, seriously, this is the beauty of basketball, though. Now you have to really see what this team is all about. That's the other thing. Like, it's character checks from here. Because let's be fully transparent. Everyone was sitting here, you know, when you win games in basketball, NBA, WNBA, college, and you go on this run, we do have a tendency to glorify and praise the winning streak, right? Because over the last several weeks, you know, this team, 100 points, Seattle, New York, Connecticut, Seattle, Portland, here we go. Then all of a sudden, you have the lapses, and you just got out-muscled, outplayed, outworked. Oh, by the way, I mean, look at the guards they played, the scoring guards. Young went off last night. I mean, dogging Mitchell. And then Miles went off the other night, even though Minnesota lost last night. But I'm just saying, against Indiana. Now you've dropped 2 straight. So, as I say, I used a boxing analogy. Indiana started to what? They started to step up in weight class to see exactly where they're at. So now you got an opportunity against the 2 best teams, arguably, in the league. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. 25-7, 22-9. And if you want to throw Golden State, throw Golden State. But you get outclassed, outmuscled, outphysicaled, outcoached against one, and then you're up 20 at home, and you can't seal the deal. Because players decided when under 4 and change to go, hero ball. 1-on-3, I'm chucking up a 3. No spacing, no cutting. This team is so flawed, they can't get out of their own way. You have talent on this team. It makes absolutely no sense why they can't close these games out. Oh, wait, no, it does. It's because they don't have the right head coach. This coach is not a right fit for this team. You are paying players for what? Some of these players. I'm sorry. Mitchell, as much as I get on Clark, great player, but also a defensive liability. You know, Lexi, what are we doing? What are we bringing to the table? You know, Boston at times has her moments. But this is what annoyed the hell out of me. If you go back to that last play, the defensive lapse, man, I mean, they were just basically tiptoeing through the tulips. That's what they were doing. They were tiptoeing through the tulips last night. I mean, I would have ripped their ass. I would have read them a riot act if I'm that head coach. Now, she gets a lot of the criticism, but you got to get back on defense. You got to get a hand up. Did anyone else notice that last night? You have to get a hand up, man. You have to at least try to face guard. Try to get in Gray's grill. Nothing. And it just doesn't make sense. You don't need to try to go with an interior pass there if you're Caitlin Clark. You saw she drew Wilson out. So you figure the smaller guard, the more explosive guard, I can slide right by you, put the ball on the floor, right? At least try to go to the basket. The last thing you want to do is get caught up and try to, dish it back off in the lane, and there's congestion in the lane, and then you have a delayed turnover. The worst thing to do was have the defender, in this case William, creep up on the perimeter, get a pull on it. I don't care about the body contact and the foul or no foul or not. I don't want to hear it anymore. It was just a bad turnover, period. But you need to understand, once I pull her out, you got to make a decision. And this is where the spacing, this is where her teammates also have to flash. Get me the ball, get me the rock. I mean, you saw prior to late in the game, they pulled her out. You want her on the floor to make those free throws, even though she didn't. But she's the primary ball handler. She's got to understand time and possession. Okay? You're up one. Secure the basketball. Run down the shot clock. Go right to the basket. Try to draw the contact. The last thing you want to do is what? Get a shot clock violation, or worse, turn the basketball over. In that spot, that turns in what? A very fast opportunity, a jailbreak fast break. I mean, that was like all hands on deck, and they were laps. They were absolutely laps. And I'll say this too. CEO blaming her teammates for the turnover. CC average over 6 turnovers, and I would too. Listen, she's a flawed, great player. Two things can be fair. Two things can be fair. And I don't, again, you got to let them play through, man. Please stop. We know the officiating is so bad. We know it's so bad. But I also go back to late in the game when they called the ball out of bounds on the Aces, and the player clearly saved it. Clearly saved it. It should have been Vegas ball coming back the other way. See, all we want to do is look at the play that will fit our little narrative. She got fouled. Possession ball right there, game over. No. They shouldn't even been in that position. They just shouldn't have. That is a game that you have to close out, period. You have to close that game out. There's no excuses. This is your chance to make a friggin' statement. It's your chance to make a statement. It's like a referendum on your season. And you spit the bit. And yeah, I got news for you. For all the pro CC fans out there, you're taking a hit today. And for some of the detractors, which are a lot of them, you guys are having a field day. I do want you to watch the last play again. And then please, somebody tell me if you notice exactly what I notice. And again, watch it. I'll loop it so you watch a couple times, and a lot of it is what? Standing around. But then the laps when you're talking about, getting back on defense, understanding situational basketball. What is the one thing in that spot if you are Indiana? If you are Indiana, what is the one that you just cannot allow someone to get a clean look? Because even if they decided to catch and put it on the floor, chances are they're not getting the shot off. They're going to take a couple dribbles, and it's going to be an awkward shot. But they allowed Gray. There was no friggin' closeout. There was none. So it's not even a question of giving up a 3 or giving up a 2, because in that situation, that's an 84-83 game. She just decided, I'm chucking up the 3, little stutter step, and here we go. Hesitated, boom, pull the trigger, good night. But tell me if you see the same thing that I see. Because I really want to know if, like, if I'm talking goofy today. If I'm talking goofy today, please, you guys can check me. But if I'm not talking goofy, then you can't check me. But I want you to watch this. I'll freeze it, and then I'll...
Not have to foul right here. You just have to play good, solid defense. Do not give up a three, no and ones.
Clark and Wilson. Clark, her pass, taken away by Wilson. Shot clock off, 3 seconds. Chelsea Gray for three. Yes, ma'am!
Are you kidding me? Not have to foul right here. You just have to play good, solid defense. Do not give up a three, no and ones.
Clark and Wilson. Clark, her pass, taken away by Wilson. Shot clock off, 3 seconds. Chelsea Gray for three. Yes, ma'am!
Are you kidding me?
All right, so a couple of things if you saw it, and I'm watching it right now. You saw no one move around, right? Everyone's standing around when Clark has it. Wilson draws her out. And then watch, Boston and me, again, Boston and me, lackluster on defense, and then realizes once the ball is swung over quickly, maybe it's the little hesitation by Gray, but Boston, you got to get a paw up. You have to get a paw up. Did anyone else notice that? Boston is like 6'5". Gray is 5'11". Contest a friggin' shot. Get your ass back on defense. Collectively, that falls on everyone. That falls on any... I mean, great movie, by the way. It falls on everyone. It falls on everyone. It was again, man, it was a bad friggin' loss. It's a bad loss. And as much as you want to root and be fans for some of these players and some of these teams, look, in sports, look, we always defend. I mean, I was an Eli guy. Eli Manning was my guy. I would defend Eli when he would throw 4 friggin' picks in a game. And then as you kind of get a little more mature and you understand and try to be objective and realistic, especially when you turn the microphone on, there were some games where he wet the bed. But come postseason, he made the plays that he had to make. Come Super Bowl, he made the plays that he had to make. So at times you can be flawed. Tom Brady was flawed. Joe Montana was flawed. They were all-time greats, but sometimes you have a little flaw. Caitlin Clark is a superstar, but she is also a flawed superstar. Did anyone else, and I guarantee Mike or Anthony noticed this. I guarantee they noticed this because this is something we talked about. Did anyone notice, I think it was right around 40-42, 40-43, where Clark puts the ball on the floor, spins around, left-hand lay-in. Didn't even think about drawing the contact. Just went right to the bucket. That's when she's at her best. But then a couple times, what happens? She's again looking to the contact. Bad. Muli Malo. Bad friggin' loss. This head coach needs to go. This team, sometimes you need a new voice. You need to listen to a new message. It's got to be conveyed. And I'm telling you, they're going to get bounced early. And if they believe bringing back this same roster, it's going to be competitive, then this is what you are going to have. You're going to have a Caitlin Clark throughout the course of her career with this team, put her 21 and her 8 and her 7, but you're always going to see bloated up numbers in the turnovers because people are standing around. She's trying to force the issue. She's not being coached up. She is not being coached up. Draw up plays for her. Forget about the ISO. After a timeout, you should have something scripted, something drawn up. My God, this coach stinks. She stinks. And I had people actually coming on and getting on me last week telling me I don't know friggin' basketball. Like, why am I such a hater with this coach? Because she sucks. She's got her head up her culo. She has absolutely no friggin' rhythm or rhyme. She decides to pull players when she wants to pull players. She has a hole out there. I'm surprised she didn't throw Johnson out there, which was a DNP. She's not getting on Boston's ass. She's not getting on Mitchell's ass for chucking it from the cheap seats. ISO ball. Come on. Hold these players accountable. She won't do it. She just won't do it. She's so afraid to get... She has no problem pulling Caitlin Clark when she has a turnover. She won't do that with Boston. She won't do that with Mitchell. You're up 20 friggin' points. You don't rely on one player's heroics. You don't. It is a masterclass in ineptness when it comes to bad friggin' coaching. I mean, unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I just, for the life of me. And that's great. She stayed in the arena, security and staff. She took the loss hard because she understands when you're a great player and you're the face of the franchise and the league and you're it, you got to take the bullets. And she took full responsibility. You know what? Good for her. But also, it comes with the territory. That is your lot in life. You are a fantastic player. You're great for this sport. When you have a misfire, when you have a miscue, when you have a lapse, the great ones stand up there and they do what? They face the media. You know, how many times early on in Magic Johnson's career did we see Magic dribble, 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 and then what happens? You get a shot clock violation. He doesn't even get a shot off. Hell, he did it in the NBA Finals. But he bounced back. Bad games don't change players. They don't. And when I say that, a bad game doesn't define who a player is. It just doesn't. Don't let the people on social media or the ones that chat or the ones that chime in or the other shows you might listen to, don't listen to the nonsense. She had a bad game last night because the mental lapses at this stage of her career, the player who she is, and understanding the game of basketball, it's unacceptable. But she's human. She's flawed. And I'm telling you right now, she'll bounce back. But the elephant in the room is this core, this head coach, it is not a fit. It is not a fit. It's so easy to come on today, like a lot of people are doing on social media, and just basically saying number 22 is garbage, she's trash, she's overrated. Even though we had the discussion yesterday, great players can be overhyped and overrated. Some players have, you know, wonderful moments, and they also have moments they want to forget. Even the great ones miss wide open looks. Even the great ones miss from the line. Even the great ones overthrow it, have drop passes. Hell, Jerry Rice, his second season against the Giants in a divisional round, basically had a great seam route, boom, slant, here we go. And then what happens? He's breaking free in that game against the Giants, and he lost a football off of his knee. And the Giants blew their doors out. You learn from that, and you move on. But the difference is they also had a Hall of Fame coach. This coach stinks. Get her out of here, man. Just get her out of here. And don't get sensitive with the word choking, because that's what they did. They coughed it up. They choked. They choked. Close out that freaking game last night. One dagger, one rebound, one defensive stop. That game's over. You can't allow a team to make a 20-something to 4 freaking run. Brutal. An adult trade. What's going on, brother? Love that you keep it real, bro. She was trying to make an unnecessary play, and her first thought was to try to get the call instead of getting back on defense. That's enough. Listen, that's fair. You can't make excuses. You can't. CC is not yet mature enough of a player to lead any team to a title. She prefers putting on a logo show to high percentage shots. She is a circus. Nah, she's not. Come on. That's being too hard. She's a great, you have to, listen, she is a great player, Pete. Come on, man. She is a great player. The best part of that game is when I shut it off. She's a great, great player. You can't be disrespectful in that form. You can't, because her court vision and her acumen, it's on another level. They need to draw up better plays for her. Any great player, you got to draw up plays, man, whether it's a give and go, whether it's, the curl route, whether it's a two-man game, whether it's just popping high, coming off the screen. Golden State did it for years with Curry. The Knicks do it. They run it with Brunson. Reggie Miller and the Pacers used to do it. That's what we call the guys flashing. Last night, another perfect example. Cunningham tries to fight through the screen and got jacked. But that's basketball 101. She tried to fight through the screen. I don't see some of the players on the floor, A, setting proper screens, hard screens, decisive screens, and B, trying to run through the screen. Explain to me again those last possessions prior to overtime. Tipped around, get the friggin' loose change. Boston, get a pull up, get your hand up. And then in overtime, you got to close out fast, man. You got to close out fast. You're the taller defender. So I got news for you. You don't really need to worry about jumping and lunging and fouling a shooter. You don't, but close up, try to disrupt. Instead, it was like a boxer with a lazy jab. You ever see a boxer with a lazy jab that sits there and he just flail? No, man, get behind it. Get behind that stick. It's a bad loss. And this is the elephant in the room now. This is the elephant in the room. It's not, again, it's not going to work with this core. It's not. You can have great players and everything looks great stat-wise, right? Everything looks great stat-wise. How many times have we seen teams assembled a certain way? And we're like, man, this team's going to win 60-something games and run roughshod through the regular season. Whatever level we're debating, whatever level we're talking about, they're not built for that. They're not. They're just not. And Wilson, and I know Boston has given her nightmares in the past, Wilson decided, I'm the friggin' MVP, I'm the veteran, I'm going to win the award again, and I'm going to take the game over. And that's exactly what she did. It's exactly what she did. Will chimes in, Q, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Boston is 6-5 against a 5-10. Yeah, I mean, again, step into it, will you? Step into it. The problem I have, Jody chimes in, Q, you always talk about the substitutions, why this coach, I don't understand it. Every time there's a careless turnover, she quickly pulls this kid. That's what she does. She pulls Clark after a couple bad turnovers in the second quarter. You're up by 20, okay? Fine. And you let her reset. That's the smart thing to do. If there's a couple bad turnovers, that's one thing. Settle down, we're up 20. If they chip into it and they get it down to 14 or 12, now you're coming back in. But you know what she does? She sticks with the vets. She sticks with who she wants to stick with. That is a problem. You don't want a head coach to do that. And the schedule now, it was favorable. It's not. So if you want to prove your moxie in a league that you are a definitive or decisive or contending team, I got news for you. You close out that friggin' game. Listen, if you are Caitlin Clark, you will watch the film and you will understand I got the bigger defender. I understand she's Defensive Player of the Year. She's an MVP. She's a great talent. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep drawing her out and I'm blowing right friggin' by her. I am blowing right by her. And if her teammates understood that, you clear out, man. You clear out. Let her go right to the bucket. You then crash the boards just in case. I'm not trying to pass the ball right there. I'm not, with the game on the line. Or, you know what you do? Pull the friggin' trigger. If you're already shooting from the logo, you don't even give Wilson any opportunity to close in quickly. But she dribbled. She was shoe shining, as I say on the air. Dribble, and then that gives the defender time to set. So you're either going to be decisive, blow right friggin' by her, draw the contact, get to the line, game over, or you're going to shoot from the logo, and you live with it because that's what you do. You can ill afford in that situation to turn the basketball over. And it was a brutal turnover. But she will learn from it. Jehovah Sugar. Yes. Well, she's the MVP. She's an MVP. Gray is a great player, too. She's a phenomenal player, man. I mean, here's the other thing that I saw last night, which is funny. You can see there's talent. Why I get so aggravated, animated, and frustrated at times is because I watch a game, and I don't want to pick on the player, but I watched a game the other night with Reese, who's just throwing it off the friggin' backboard. It looked like a glorified scrimmage on a Saturday. No skill whatsoever. Rebound, whatever. I'm not even going to debate it today. But then I watched last night, and I watched these games, and I'm like, there's talent in this league. There are some really good players in this league. Wilson and Mitchell and Stewart and Clark and Cooper and Miles. I mean, that kid Young, I mean, she was just dogging Mitchell last night. That kid also took over. Let's not forget about her. Let's not forget about her play. You got players, when they're coached the right way and they're coached up, they play with confidence. They play with confidence. There's like no knocks in their game, man. They come out, they shoot decisively, they put the ball on the floor, they decide to go right to the basket. I mean, this team is friggin' stacked, man. And as much as I'm saying that's a horrible loss by Indiana, that's a hell of a win by the Aces last night. That is a hell of a win. You're in a hostile environment, a team that has a pretty damn good record at home. They're 11-5, 11-6. I think that was their 6th loss. They were scoring 100-something odd points. You hold them to 84. The game goes into overtime. You get the stops that you need, and then you have the vets with the dagger. I mean, that is a nice win. This Jackie Young. Jeez. Oh, man. God, give me 5 of her. Give me 5 of her. I mean, fantastic player. Fantastic. There's talent in this league. It's just so poorly run. And this coach got to go. This coach got to go. You predicted CC play yesterday. I actually, interesting, Mark. What did I say yesterday? What did I say yesterday on the air? Once in a while, I will get 1 or 2 right. But I think the numbers I gave you, I think I said yesterday, it'll be an interesting conversation tomorrow on the show if Clark has like 19 and 8 and a bunch of turnovers. What'd she have last night? She had 20 and 8, and she had 8 turnovers. And she missed critical free throws. So did Mitchell. Don't get me wrong. So did Mitchell. They were 15 of 20 from the line. Make your friggin' free throws, will you? Please. Stop living and dying by the friggin' 3. 7 of 20. Not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. When you use low standard metrics like popularity and nonsense advanced stats, you wind up looking like fools. She's a great... Now, I mean, you can't... Listen. You cannot sit there and say she's not a great player. Players have off... See, you guys, when I say you... The masses that are the Caitlin Clark detractors love what they saw last night. They were giddy last night. They were probably joking and smoking, a little hot toddy, going on social, going on, the fan page, WNBA, crap talkers, going on social media, going on the threads, texting their buddies, see, this kid's a fraud, she's overrated, she sucks, she flips, she flops, she's not clutch. That's not accurate, man. It's not accurate. Is she a flawed player? 100%. Is she a great player? 100%. But I can give you a lot of great players that are also flawed. 2 things can be true. So the detractors last night, you guys were living it up, man. You guys were loving it. You guys couldn't wait. Here comes Q on Friday. How many excuses? I'm not giving her a free pass for nothing. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it 100%. You want to be the man, or in this case, you want to be the woman, you want to be the face, you want to be it, you want to be her, you can't turn the ball over like that. She will bounce back. She is a mentally tough kid. But the elephant in the room is that we know she's streaky, but we also know this head coach is holding this team back. Close out the freaking game. Coach these guys up. But this coach has no idea. There's no continuity. There's no consistency. It's like, okay, what is really your offense? In the NFL, you know which teams are going to try to run the football down your throat. And even if they can't run it successfully, they're going to keep trying to hammer it. Because guess what? In the 4th quarter, in January, when that back is picking up 2 becomes 3 becomes 4. Now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, 3rd and short. Now you got an opportunity. The line's starting to come together. You're wearing down the defense. That's your identity. That's your identity. In basketball, back in the 90s, we knew what the Knicks were. We knew what these teams were. Some of these teams, defensive, man, we're going to hold you to 75 points, 78 points in a playoff game. We're going to make it ugly. We're going to be physical. We're going to knock you on your fanny. That's our identity. What the hell is the identity of this team? What's the offensive identity? Is it some nights, let it be Mitchell? Is it other nights, let it be Clark? Is it on a rare night, a couple players contribute that are role players? But that comes with coaching. You've got to set the groundwork. You got to basically say from day one, this is how we are going to run our offense. And the players also have to be smart enough to understand if my shot is not falling, And even if I try to get to the rim and it's not working, I got to get other players involved. I have to be unselfish. And I don't think on this team, with some of these players, you've got two players that are dominant scorers that constantly want theirs. You have one that wants to create for the other. You have another that can create on her own. Like, something has to give. Something's got to give. When Mitchell's at her best, we know the decisiveness. We know foul line, stop, and pop. When Clark's at her best, you get her going early and often. You have to get her cooking early. She was 0 for 6 from beyond the arc to start the game. Now, do you want to live with her shooting? Do you want to live with those misses? Because eventually in the fourth quarter, what happens? She can get hot a little bit. You take the good with the bad. Hence, flawed. They are flawed. Flawed. Michael chimes in. How many times people are going to say Clark didn't have a good shooting game? When does she take accountability for flopping? Well, I mean, listen, she didn't shoot the ball very well, and there's a lot of flopping in this league. But I just, I watch a lot of these games, as you guys do. That last defensive play, you can't call the foul there. You can't. Wilson was just physical and she wanted the basketball. She was physical and she just wanted the basketball. And I know why people are pissed off today, because they figure that Wilson gets all the calls or gets away with a lot, and Indiana's at home and there's no call. There's no call. They were still winning. Everyone hustled back, but Clark, she flopped. She was on the ground. It's not that. And I got news for you. If you watched a play that I just played several times, defensively, it was a panic, because they didn't think they were going to get the shot off. So they just basically turned around and watched. They were very lax with their defense. Fever lost to the Lynx, took all the wind out of their sails. I predicted a big letdown loss to the Aces. Whole game was terrible. I thought it was an entertaining game. I mean, if you're a Fever fan, probably not. People talk like Lexi is great paying on defense. She's a liability and that's just horrible. What the hell did you... I'm sorry. Yes. What are we doing here? Like, honestly, what are we doing here? They decided they really couldn't do anything at the trade line. They couldn't. Because of the salary cap. They decided to run it back, right? And I think it was fool's gold. I really do. I think it was fool's gold. They decided that, you know what, we'll make it work. This coach was brought in for what? To be a defensive-minded head coach. And I mean, it's just... It's frustrating. Like I said, I just enjoy the games. I enjoy the league. I enjoy talking hoops. But for the life of me, I cannot stand bad coaching. It's incompetence. It really is. I mean, these are like fireball offenses. Fireball offenses. Imagine this game. If this is a playoff game and you're at home and you cough up a 20-point lead and you lose the series, in any other league, that coach is fired. I go back to when the Knicks coughed up the huge lead to Indiana 2 years ago. And I came on the air at that time, and I said, if the Knicks choke this series away, if they lose this series, then guess what? It's a friggin' fireball fence. Get Thibodeau the hell out of here. They lost the series. They fired Thibodeau. Now, you got season left? Of course. But do we really look at this team? And I'll ask you guys, what if you're objective, you watched that game last night, and it's a Friday right now. And again, Friday edition on Q. Rich Quiñones here. If you're new, definitely hit the notification, subscribe. We're 45 minutes in the show. You watched the game last night. You've been watching these games this season. What is the biggest issue? That's my question to you. What is the biggest issue? Play GM right now. Fix it. Because I can tell you what I believe is the biggest issue. It's the coach. It's the coach, period. The favorites, the scheme, the lack thereof. Ashley, what's going on? It was a good game. But that ball had hit the rim. Should have had the clock reset. Which one are we talking about? What possession? What possession? What possession? Come on, Ash. Come on. Got to fill me in here. I'm hopped up on fresh roasted coffee. Was no letdown. Up 20 points. They blew it. Yes. Yeah. And they hung in there against the Lynx, too. But they just got out-muscled and outclassed. Cece missed both free throws. That was a game. It's not Cece's fault. She's not allowed to be herself. But it's... she's got to take accountability, which she did for the loss last night. If you want to argue she's not... her game isn't fully evolved because of the head coach or the head coach is holding her back, I can debate that. But I'm sorry, last night, that's her lot. That's her lot. She was cold to start the game, okay? She was very cold to start the game. She had a lot of bad turnovers in critical junctures. She missed the 2 free throws. She missed a couple shots late. And she also had the monumental mental lapse mistake turnover that cost them the game. Now, is it fair to tag 100% on her? No, but I always equate it to this. In the NFL, when the quarterback throws a pick and a game-winning drive, no one's talking about the quarterback prior to throwing for 350 yards. The lead is what? The quarterback threw the pick to lose the game. The lead today wouldn't be she had a triple-double, but she had 20 and 8, but she had 35 and 10, but she had 45 and 10, but no. The lead is she had a costly turnover. And she missed free throws. And she knows better. And she'll respond. You got to close out games in this league, man. We talked about Seattle the other day. Young team trying to figure out how to win. But how many leads has this team blown? Doesn't that fall on coaching? Any other league, this coach would have been gone. Any other league, this coach would have been fired by now. The lapses defensively, they still don't have, again, the size. You can't teach size at this point in the game. They should have gotten another body. And the production off the bench is So they decided we're running it back. They figured we can get away with, right? Billings, who sometimes is like Copperfield, she disappears. Boston, who's a friggin' enigma. Mitchell, who will score, but we know she's also a defensive liability at times. But she's a hell of a friggin' player. Lexi, that contract, 17 minutes, 1 friggin' point. Are you kidding me? Get the hell off the floor. And then you got Clark. You don't trust anyone coming off the bench. You don't. Their bench was lousy last night. I think my girl Tippy, which she had 4 points. And then you had a bunch of DMPs. She was falling in love with Raven Johnson, remember? Falling in love with Raven Johnson before. Let's get her out on the floor. Let's get her some minutes. Here we go. Remember that? Early on in July, she was playing 23, 13, 6, 10, 19, falling out of favor. There's just, like I said, I don't like the head coach. I don't think she is a very good head coach. I don't think you have to have a feel for the game. I don't know. Did she fake it? Did she fake it all this time? Or she was just a product of having really good players that masked the fact that she is incompetent. MG chimes in, Q, you didn't bring up that Cunningham got fouled. No call was made. Listen, again, guys and girls, we can complain about the officials every night in every sport. Yes, they miss free throws. Yes, they're not running plays in OT. Yes, you get away, right, from, again, having your creator create. Yes, we know it's always one-sided. But I'm sorry, man. Sometimes you got to just fight through that. You have to fight through that. And you're up 20-plus points at home in a game that you can make a statement. We know it's all about runs, but my God, if you go into the half up 12, up 14, you're feeling a lot better than going in the half and all of a sudden a team's in the midst of a 19-0 run. I mean, they look like they were sleepwalking the last 3 minutes until the half, right? I mean, I have no idea what the hell Lexi was doing. I just don't get it. It makes no sense. And the other thing is, what the fans have to realize is every night you play Indiana, they are going to try to dog and hound Caitlin Clark. So they take it on with such veracity and gusto. It's like a badge of honor, man. I want to disrupt her. I want to take her out of her game. I will sacrifice my stats just so I can just get on her, get in her grill, chest to chest, body to body. They don't want her to score. They don't want her to go off. So yes, that shows you how the league views her and how great of a player she is. So if you really watch these games closely, the defensive intensity against her, you want to call it questionable, the physicality, borderline roughhousing. I think it's just physical ass basketball. We're not going to allow you to get off, and you are going to have to work for every single shot. And you got to appreciate that, man. You have to. You really have to appreciate it. Tank chimes in, Q, any thought on those fans being a... Nah, I have no thought on that. I know the broadcasters made a, offhanded I don't care about that. I don't know what the hell transpired. I don't even want to know at this point. I'm talking about the game today. I don't know what the fan said. I don't know if it was directed at Gray. I don't know if it was directed at Jackie Young. I don't, if the fan said something they shouldn't have sent, then send them off. That's it, period. Period. Ross chimes in, Q, I'm loving your show and your passion and your takes and your analysis is spot on, but come on, man. That was a clear push off by Wilson. You're not going to get the call, though. You're not. As soon as she put it on the floor and went to her right hand and then tried to cross up, she allowed Wilson to get positioning. Watch the play. Watch the play again. She allowed it. She allowed her. She drew her out. No better. She's at the top of the logo, and all of a sudden she backs up, and that's when Wilson's like, hold on a second. No, now I'm going to come right. I'm going to come. I'm going to back. I'm going to come. And then once she pushes her and forces Caitlin Clark to the right, so you're trying to close off right there, the end line, and then you're waiting for the weak side help. You had Mitchell there who had a body on her. Clark was done. She was screwed. She had to be so decisive. As soon as she got that ball near the logo, put it on the friggin' floor and go right to the bucket. Go right to the bucket. The shot clock is winding down. Take it to the friggin' tin. You know what she did? She allowed her defender to set. She gave her defender breathing room. She gave her defender a moment to think, okay, let me slide. Let me move with my feet. And that was a mismatch. Typically, Caitlin Clark's going to get the better of the defender. But that's part of her game that needs to evolve and mature. I'm telling you, watch the play. I watched it 50-something odd times. She's dribbling, she's dribbling, she's dribbling, she's dribbling. Now switch to the left hand. Now cross over to the right. Okay, Wilson's standing right at the edge of the logo. Now she backs off. Then she starts to press and almost like I'm face guarding. She was using her legs. She was using her legs and she stood her ground and then she got physical. That's a loose ball. That is a black top play. No harm, no foul. No blood, no foul. I'm not giving in on this one today, folks. I'm not. That falls on Caitlin Clark. And you had to get a little more spacing on the floor. Like, I get it. There's all ISO. You realize, too, you had the player in the corner, and I think it might have been Boston, who didn't even pull her defender because they knew once Caitlin Clark drove, there was going to be weak side help. So that's why you drive. Because if you get the weak side help and you got Boston in the coffin corner, the worst thing that's going to happen is she's going to chuck up a three. Well, we know Boston might not pull. She might not pull the strings. Watch the play in its entirety. Watch it. Watch it, watch it. Because, again, when it's tipped, Boston was one of the last ones to get her ass back on defense. And it might have not have been Boston in the corner. It might have been another player. But my point is this, as I go back and watch it, my point is this. Once she has an opportunity and she sees that matchup, when you have the weak side defender all the way, I believe it was, if we were facing the floor, right top of the key, trips down the foul line, she's got to make the decision. And no, you know what? It was Mitchell because she tried to get the ball into Mitchell. Mitchell has to clear out, forget about going inside the lane because nothing good happens there. Hang out near the coffin corner because then you are a threat. Then the defender's got to decide, okay, am I going to double up? And if I'm Caitlin Clark and I see that double, I'm going to kick it out. If I don't double and I'm Caitlin Clark, the worst that happens is the shot gets blocked and time expires. They don't have that opportunity. If you drive and you go to the basket, they're going to have 3 to 4 seconds. What's the likelihood that they're going to get a clean look off a rebound if they actually played defense? So to Ross's point, sorry, I I don't agree with you. I just don't agree with you. I think she has to understand, and again, I want to correct myself for context. She tried to get it into Mitchell. If I'm Mitchell, after I flash inside and I see her put the ball on the floor, I'm going right to the corner. Because if I drag that defender, if Caitlin Clark drags that extra defender, that is a kick out. That is a kick out. And the worst that happens is what? Mitchell, knowing Mitchell, she can either put her on the floor, go to the bucket, or she's going to release it. And it was Boston who was laps coming back. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, a lot of it has to do with just fundamentally sound basketball. And last night, late, they were not fundamentally sound, and that happens. Fever defense could be okay if CC gives an ounce of effort instead of always looking for her teammates to bail her out. That's Reginald. I don't think it's lack of effort. I think it was lack of effort as a whole, that last possession. Like, I never want to sit there and question a player's want, but I will say this. There was a lapse. Just trying to understand Grace taunting after she scored the last bucket was a technical. 1 point wouldn't matter. Just saying, well, I mean, listen, we're splitting hairs. 3-point contest, I almost out totally on her already. Now I like her as a person, and the player's a spoiled brat. All righty. Interesting take by Pete there. Let me scroll down a little bit. Tired of CC Colton members blaming everyone else but her for. She had a bad game. That's okay. She'll rebound. She'll rebound. It's all right. But again, watch the last play. You'll see exactly what I'm going to pull it up one last time for you guys because I really want you to understand what I'm saying. And I know the astute fans get it, and it's a lapse, and it happens. Not the end of the world. I can't talk over when I play this, but I'll set it up again. Watch the last play and understand once Wilson starts to draw out, she's got to be decisive. Put it on the floor. If there's weak side help, so be it. That defender's got to decide, am I going to come over or am I going to risk cheating over and then leave someone wide open in the corner? And it could have been, a fantastic, unselfish way to end the game and basically put the Aces out of their misery, right, and just seal it. But that's not what happened. So I'll let you guys, I'll draw it up for you one more time. I'll let you guys see it. And then you tell me if I'll loop it, you tell me if I'm off base here.
Not have to foul right here. You just have to play good, solid defense. Do not give up a three, no and ones.
Clark and Wilson. Clark, her pass, taken away by Wilson. Shot clock off. 3 seconds. Chelsea Gray for 3. Yes, ma'am!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so you now you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You've got the defender floating, watching. Here comes Wilson. Now I'm going to meet you. Now she's putting her on the floor. Weak side defender's got to think, am I going to cheat? Am I going to cheat? And instead, Mitchell decided she waited too long for it to clear out. That is all on coaching. That is something that you teach. It's basketball 101, man. It's basketball 101. That was a failure across the board. Failure across the board. And I got news for those that are chiming in saying it's only one loss, this team's going to be okay. They're not a title contending team. They're just not. Not with this makeup. They're not. They're not. And you can't teach height all of a sudden. You can't. It's like a fighter. You're born with it or you're not. You can't teach height. They're not a physical team. They need presence down on the low block. They need rim protectors. They need a little dog in them. And they just don't have it. These teams that we're watching on a nightly basis, man, they got some friggin' talent and they got bigs and they got a little chip on their shoulder and they're well coached. They're well coached. They are going, their best case scenario is spit the bit in the playoffs. Spit the bit in the playoffs and then move on from Steffi White. Move on. I mean, she gets exposed every time she's out there. She's constantly exposed as a head coach. And there are some really bad head coaches in sports that are winning and have won because they have the talent. And the talent masks their deficiencies. But I don't want this coach coaching late in a game. Nah, not at all. Reginald chimes in. Fever on a championship caliber team. Do well in the regular season. CC needs to learn. Sometimes the ball doesn't need to be in our hands all the time. Play off the ball. Yeah, but I can also say when they were up, to counter that, and I appreciate it, my friend, to counter that, there was a lot of ISO ball and some bad shot selections, too, when they were up 20-something points by Mitchell. I mean, she's not going to get off the hook, too. Clark only shows up against the worst teams where their stats are against good teams. Where are these stats against good teams? She is such an easy target because it's like she's a villain. Such a great player, but always under scrutiny. Always. Unadulterated. I said last week, blowout over the Aces was not an aberration. Last night showed it. They were up. They took the right approach, but I'm not taking bad shots. When I'm back in the game, they did that a lot. That's a problem too, man. Anthony chimes in. Wilson whistle, absolutely ridiculous. That's 3 games. Aces 1. By special whistle, Fever have no chance against the refs come playoff time. Yeah, but here's the other thing, Anth. Got to call it the way you see it. Close out the game. Close out the game. You're up 20 at home. You don't allow a team to make a 19-0, 20-4. You just don't. They had, can we also give a little credit to the Aces? I mean, they had no answers for Young. That kid went off. She was doing anything she wanted to do last night. She went off when she had to go off. She didn't have the best shooting night, but every time she put the ball in, she went right to the basket. I mean, she was clutch, and she stopped and pop, foul line extended. Well-coached team. Mike on Ohio Q, it's an aberration on a Friday. I can't believe you're actually criticizing your girl. Listen, I criticized her several weeks ago. Nothing new, Mike. See what you guys have to say. Pete's trolling, so you guys are buying into it. Okay. Don't allow it. I got a lot of hold on. We got Jackie chiming in. What's Jackie saying? Hold on, Jackie, don't go anywhere, Jackie. I gotta pull up your comment. Embarrassing. Jackie says Caitlin is embarrassing, nowhere near an MVP. Were we saying that a couple weeks ago, though? People are a very reactionary fan base. Talking heads, media, very reactionary. When she dropped 45 and 10, when she had triple-double, just for you-know-what and giggles. So right now, it's still Wilson. The odds have dripped to minus 400, and now Miles jumps Clark. At this point, I believe it's a 2-player race. The MVP is either going to be Wilson or it's going to be Miles. And we know in the league's history, only one rookie has won the MVP. And we also know in the WNBA's history, only 2 pure guards have won the MVP. So, sorry, Caitlin, we're not having this discussion anymore. Sorry, Stewart, we're not having this discussion anymore. See ya, Buckets, we're not having this discussion anymore. Right now, the MVP comes down to 2 dogs. It's Wilson and it's Miles. That's how I see it. But Wilson is still the overwhelming favorite. And oh, by the way, it helped that she led that comeback last night and spurred that comeback against Indiana on the road down 20. I mean, she was friggin' unstoppable. She was absolutely unstoppable. Roger chimes in. Q, the real question is not how did we miss 3 out of 4 games sealing free throws? How did Caitlin make the boneheaded turnover on the final play? I thought you broke it down brilliantly. Yeah. And oh, by the way, how about the best offense in WNBA history goes 13 minutes, scoring a total of 9 friggin' points? Yes, it starts with Clark, but it also ends with everyone else. It's a trickle-down effect, man. It's a team sport. It's a team game. no matter what. Because if she bounces back and has 35, 10, and 6, and they win by 20 the next game, then what are you guys going to sit there and say? Well, look who they played. You can't have it both ways. You can't. You can't. She's a great player. She's a great player. So, yeah, they're going to go on the roads. They're taking on a bad team, and she might get her 35 and 10. I mean, you got to do it against the Golden States, the Aces, the Lynx, the Atlanta. You got it. You have to. But these teams, there's a reason they're good basketball teams. There's a reason they defend her a different way. They do not want her to embarrass them. They don't want her to go off. And there is this, as I mentioned, the human element. We don't want to be one-upped. You got players in this league looking around saying, I'm going to shut her down, man. I don't like this kid. I don't like this girl. She gets too much love. Everyone's giving her flowers, man. Nah. I'm going to get right in her girl. I mean, you don't, it had to be sweet last night for friggin' Wilson. Wilson probably got tired of hearing it. Wilson had to remind everyone, I'm the big dog, man. I'm a 3-4-time MVP, man. I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm a champ. Here we go. And she played that last possession brilliantly. She really did. She played it brilliantly. She was 0-7 before she finally hit a 3 in the game. After she hit that, another bad turnover, didn't get back on defense because she was flopping, looking for a call that wasn't there. Flipping and flopping on a Friday. Flipping and flopping on a Friday. Let's see. I didn't say, Jeff, I didn't say it was an away game. I said it was an away game for the Aces. But appreciate you, pal. So maybe you might have not heard me. No movement without the ball is what I see. A lot of ISO, period. Saw that a lot with some of the poor shot selection. She had the nerve to say she kind of took the blame. Man, you guys love I get why you do it, by the way. I get why you guys do it. Because when she gets the love, she gets the love, and it annoys people. So now when she gets the criticism, the detractors love it because she gets too much love. So I understand why you guys do it. I've said this on multiple occasions, and it's on the channel. I mentioned this several weeks ago. I thought the best route, as crazy as it sounds, was to trade her at the trade deadline. I really did. As much as you don't want to rip off that Band-Aid and deal with that scab and that bleeding, and it would hurt the fan base, she is better off not playing in Indiana. I get, loves Indiana. I understand all that crap. We've talked about it in nauseum, but the bottom line is this coach and her, they don't mesh. It's not a fit. You have to have a coach that coaches you up, not a coach that will placate other players and be a detractor, not a coach that will not bring out your best. I'm not saying bow down, kiss her fanny, let her shoot 35 shots a game. But we know when she's at her best. We know the type of player she is. We understand she's got great vision. She's unselfish. Yes, she will turn the ball over, but sometimes that happens when you're trying to be too unselfish. You're trying to get your teammates into the mix. I mean, we saw a couple gorgeous the one where she drew the double team and then put it behind her back. You got to finish that layup if you're Boston, I think it was. I mean, that's a bunny. That's a gimme. So we look at the box score, we see the turnovers, it's highlighted, it's magnified, we want to run with it, we want to get on her, we want to say she's garbage, when she's not. She's an elite talent. She is an elite talent. At this point, if you don't see it, you don't know basketball, or you're just a hater. But she's also a flawed elite talent. Both can be true. But I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. What I'm saying is this. It's not a good fit because you're already dealing with the alpha male in Mitchell. Mitchell is the alpha male. They want to placate Mitchell. White wants to placate Mitchell. White wants Mitchell to get hers. She wants the stats. She wants the numbers. Here's the volume. Go and shoot. I don't see when you're up 14, 17 points and all of a sudden you get Mitchell have back-to-back horrible shot selection. She's not getting pulled. But Caitlin does. That is a problem. The GM needs to fire the head coach. She's not going to do that. So then what's the end result? The end result is if you turn around and give her that epic contract, which she's going to be in line for, okay, and you really break the bank because she was on a nice little run if you go back to late July. She was on a nice little run. I mean, let's not forget about the 45 friggin' points and the triple-double. Let's not forget that. Everyone wants to gloss over 45 and 10, which was ridiculous. Never seen anything like that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We know what she's capable of doing. We understand the level of play. We understand all the stats and all the records, but sometimes it's just not a good fit. So as an organization, do you really want to win championships? If you want to win championships, then you have to allow certain players. You have to have a game plan. It's like any business. You create the business, you have the marketing plan, here you go, you have the foundation, you started from the ground up. What's the plan? What's the goal? What's the foundation? What is your business? Is it widgets? What is it? Explain it to me. When you talk about this offense, and even if a casual says, oh, did you check out the WNBA? Yeah, you see this Caitlin Clark and the Fever? Oh, yeah, tell me a little more about their offense. You don't know what it is. You don't. There are other teams in the league. We understand exactly what they're trying to do, how they run their offense, who it's predicated around. Do they want to get the guards in the mix? Do they want to be ball dominant in the paint? We know who those teams are. But this team, it's like I'm just throwing something at the refrigerator, see if it sticks. One night it could be Mitchell. If you got to get 35, we're going to live with 25 shots. One night it's got to be Clark. One night it's got to be Boston. That's an enigma that you can't figure out. Or maybe you get someone off the bench scoring 9 or 12 points. Like, define it for me. And this coach hasn't defined it. These other coaches, you know exactly where they stand in this league. You know exactly where they stand. You might not like what they say, okay? But we know. I don't like Cheryl Reeve. She's a divisive human. But we know she's a hell of a coach. Becky Hammon is a hell of a coach, okay? We know about all these other coaches, right? Roberts, DeMarco, they all, even I've said this before, even the Seattle coach, that's a young team, but you kind of know their identity already. They're a young team. They just need to learn how to close. Brondello with Toronto, we all understand their offense's identity. But for some reason with this team, because it's got number 22, it's not clear-cut and definitive. So if that's the case, again, square peg, round hole. To answer your question, long-winded, Ashley, it's not a good fit. It's just not. And that's, I've been saying that from the get-go. Ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Twice. Put a friggin' body on her. She looked like Brunson out there, shooting with confidence, stroking it. Here we go. She was unbelievable. Look at the last play. She didn't even get back on the play. She lay down. She got banged, and then look. But that's not why the turnover is why they lost the game. The missed free throws are why they lost the game. And I'm also going to say this. Watching the play as many times as I had, again, you got to decide if I'm putting the ball, I'm going to the basket, I'm drawing the defender in, I'm kicking it out. And if you're Boston, you got to close out faster on Gray. And she didn't. She got lazy. That's basketball 101. I'm 6'5". You got a 5'10" shooter. I don't need to jump and lunge into her, but get in her grill. Disrupt the shot a little bit. And maybe that little stutter, that overthinking by Gray, maybe that caught Boston off guard. I don't know. But your instincts have to take over, and you have to close out. And she didn't do that. So colossal. CC always flopping like a fish out of water. Whole team hustled back. She was laying on the floor like a wounded man. You guys are rough. You fall on your back. You hop right back up. Man. To be fair, SGA won for flopping. That's true. LeBron won too. Kiki's not flopping. Kiki's getting fired up. On their transition back down court, the Fever were in defensive position. CC was nowhere in the frame. She spends too much time trying to think for the ref instead of playing both ends. So I brought this up, and you guys killed me. You guys killed me 2 weeks ago when I said she's got to mature on the floor. And maturing on the floor is knowing if you don't get the call, and I said this during broadcast, I didn't use this terminology, but get your ass back on defense. Yes, she doesn't get a pass in that regard. But if you break down the play like we have, I also need Mitchell to clear out, and I needed Boston to converge and play some perimeter defense, knowing that Gray already hit the 3 to force the game in overtime. So, yes, all those are 100%. 100%. Man, you guys are... Eli Manning, for all his faults, had heart. Eli was my guy, Michael. That was my guy. CC is her own big... Hey, Margaret! She will go away and work on that. Apart from shooting, as a team, there's no connection. They don't move on, think, or the problem solved. CC was stuck. No one is moving. I think what happens is there is what they call a little star watching, and you kind of freeze, right? Man, you guys are relentless with the flipping and the fly. You guys are coming. I got the fish comparisons. Oh, my goodness. Flipping and flopping. See what Scott has to say. Pull up Scott. Is it a flopping comment? Oh, I got to pull up Scott. What do we got? I don't even know what Scott's saying. Let me pull up Scott over here. See if I'm getting trolled here. Did Scott get pulled up? No. Oh, I see a couple of I don't know anything about ball. I'm gonna pull you back up, Scott. King CC choked, flopped on her ass, and a run back on defense after committing her 8th turnover. King Charles with a very astute comment. Yeah, you're right about that. It was a bad turnover. She had a bad game. I don't know what you guys want me to say. I think I made it clear for over an hour. She choked. She had a bad game. She had bad miscues. She had bad turnovers. I mean, she's had games where she's had more turnovers than assists. That's not good. She's out of the MVP conversation. I don't know what you guys want. You want blood? I'll give you blood. What do you want? You want my firstborn? Choked and flopped. Didn't run back. We already hit on that one. Teams win championships, not individual. Clark been working on that for 3 years now. Scott says you don't know basketball. You are a CC fanboy. Stop. Is that directed at me? I don't know. Someone want to let Scott know what I've been saying for the last hour and 17? Scott, that's directed at me. I like to think I know basketball. I mean, I think I have to if I have an opportunity to call games all over the place and overseas. I don't know. Is that on me? Not scoring from the bench. Hurt Indiana. All right. She's consistently being exposed. Olivia Miles exposed her. Wilson exposed her both, and then flipping her. Yeah, I think you guys are being a little too critical. I think she made mistakes. She turned it over. She didn't knock down the free throws. I think last night you guys have proved my point. You proved my point. Last night and I can tell the new listeners to the show who've never tuned in, but you have a bad game by Clark, and the detractors come out of the woodwork. And you are entitled to that. You guys have been probably waiting. You're probably sitting by your TV waiting for her to have a bad game and saying, hey, let me check out a show, a podcast, a channel. Let me check out a little video. Let's get it going. Hey, it doesn't bother me either way. Yes, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan, but I'm also realistic. I think my exact phrase yesterday, for those who say I don't know basketball, I said she's a generational talent, but she's also a little overrated. She's a star, but she's a flawed star. All those can be true. All those. Tommy D chimes in. Q. Come on, man. Wilson friggin' flops more than Caitlin Clark. What the hell are these people talking about? Wilson gets a lot of calls. She does. She gets the benefit of the calls because she's been in the league for close to a decade. She's won multiple MVPs, and she's a Hall of Fame player. So she's going to get the benefit of the calls, and she's also not going to get calls against her. Coach, my man, Coach down in Clearwater chimes in. Q, we all know you know ball. Ignore these fools. That doesn't bother me one bit. They're chiming in. That's all we want. BB, what's up, brother? Did you see what they did to Sophie? That was crazy. Yeah, she ran through the screen and got jacked. I mean, that's, it is what it is. Oh, here you go. So Scott is the Steffi White. Here you go. So this is why Scott's saying, I don't know ball. Because Scott is a Steffi White. I think Scott was the one who basically said he's never going to watch the show again. And he's still, chiming in. She's a horrible head coach. I don't give a shit if they were a game away from the finals. Steffi White can't friggin' coach, period. She's gotten away with it, period. She's been exposed, period. She got out-coached last night. She got out-coached the other night. I don't care. I don't care. Mike Brown, who everyone said was a horrible head coach, right, when the Knicks hired him after getting rid of Thibodeau, do you think they're going to say Mike Brown is an outstanding head coach? He's a good coach, but now we got to call him an outstanding coach. Why? Because he won an NBA Finals, he won a championship? No, I'm still not high on Mike Brown. It was almost like at times, get out of the way, let this team do what they do best, and that's play. She is a bad head coach. What are you watching? Seriously, explain this to me, Scott, the all-knowing, the basketball savant. Explain to me why you don't get the ball off the court. You get the ball past the half court, and you don't call a friggin' timeout to set up a possession. That should have been implied. That is coaching 101. Get out of here with that nonsense. Stop. Talking like a fool. Keep telling you all Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese are not perfect. They have to oh, you throw in the Angel Reese? Yeah, but, Caitlin Clark, come on, BB. Caitlin Clark doesn't just throw it off the backboard. Right now. People realize if Clark gets another coach, it's her third in 3 years. It doesn't matter. It's not a good fit. Come on, you got to have that honest conversation. This is not a good fit. I don't care. You get a coach that understands her strengths. It's not a young quarterback and changing offensive coordinators. Hell, we see it in the NFL. Jalen Hurts has gone through how many freaking offensive coordinators going back to college, and he went to 2 Super Bowls and won one. Great players adjust. I don't want to hear that nonsense anymore. Stop being so friggin' sensitive when you talk about the coaches and, oh my goodness, the coach brought him here and you can't change coaches. Who says? This woman stinks. She's not a good head coach. She has no idea how to stop a friggin' run. She doesn't know when to call timeout. She pulls friggin' Clark late, and you know that Clark's bigger than Mitchell the last time I checked. So all of a sudden, Mitchell's the better defensive player. She's not a liability. The freak she is. Young dog walked her last night. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we talking about? You guys just want to pile on the player today. That's all you want to do. You want to piss, moan, and complain about the player today. And again, no one's talking about the coach who constantly has faults. Period. Period, period, period. And oh, by the way, the whole hero ball narrative, they were up 17 and Mitchell was going back-to-back awful threes. That's hero ball. But White doesn't pull her. When Clark has a bad series or turnover, White pulls her. There's a difference. If you're up 20 and you have careless mistakes, you sit on the bench, you sit your ass down and you rest. This coach doesn't do it. She basically mind Fs certain players. I don't want to hear any more. Don't tell me this is a great head coach. She's not. You don't know basketball. Sorry. I got to dismiss you on that. I got to pull your card. You don't know basketball. She's not a good head coach. She is a fraud. She's gotten away with it. Why? Because she won in college? Look what happened in friggin' Vanderbilt. She had 10 players quit. Why? Because she dates Lisa Salters and she was on ESPN as a talking head? That's one of the reasons the rat ship never criticizes her? Stop. I don't want to hear this crap anymore about this head coach. She stinks. She stinks. She has no idea how to set this offense up. She doesn't even know how to set plays up for her marquee player. ISO ball Mitchell, go ahead and get yours. Yeah, that's coaching. You and I can do that. Nonsense. Nonsense. Very disappointed in some of you today on a Friday. Very disappointed. Coach is horrible. And you know what? Great players sometimes just get better when they're in a different spot. Period. Meaning they're under a different regime. Change of scenery. I mean, come on. You allow a 24-4 friggin' run Oh, by the way, that was fueled by who? Number 22. You go away from 22. Let's effing play hero ball with Mitchell in Boston. Okay, let's have 22, your best shooter on the floor who gets wide open looks, and let's basically have her on a friggin' Gilligan's Island. But you want to sit there and tell me this coach is a great coach. Get out of here. Go. Get out. Get out. I don't want to hear you on a Friday. I don't want to hear you on a Friday. Utterly ridiculous with this nonsense. Friggin' Friday morning quarterbacks here with the basketball heads. You know, it's unbelievable too. When you have a difference of opinion, right? I love when people question my knowledge on things. Question all you way. My resume, my track record, it speaks for itself, man. There's a reason I get these gigs. There's a reason I call games. There's a reason I do games overseas. I like to think to know. I know basketball. I know the sport. I've covered the sport. This is not a good, fundamentally sound team, and they're not coached well. They're not. And again, I don't know if you guys are watching the same game I am. I don't know. I really don't know. Pat chimes in, QQQ, have a little coffee. I got to. I have to. I got fresh roasted coffee. I just like the way King Charles says it. I like how he's saying it right now. I like how he's saying it. Laugh it up, King Charles. But I appreciate that, brother. Hey, if you're chiming in, you're chiming in. I guess we'll have to all agree to disagree. You guys want me to sit there and say that Mitchell is the best player on the floor and Mitchell can do no wrong and Mitchell deserves 35 shots and Mitchell's the whole offense. And I've been critical of Caitlin Clark for an hour and a friggin' half. But don't get it twisted. She's the floor generational. She's the floor general. She's the talent. We know she is the type A personality. She's that offensive cog that makes everything go. You take her off the floor, I got news for you. Your girl Mitchell's not getting hers. She's just not. She's just not. Period. I'm not going to call these guys an idiot. That's fine. I don't call people idiots. I don't call them jerks. Like I said, you guys troll all you want. That's fine. You guys are tuning in. It's all good. It's all good. But you guys just you waited for this moment. You did, and it shows me you don't know friggin' basketball. You waited for when you have all-time greats saying Caitlin Clark is an all-time great, and then I say it. What's the friggin' difference? She's an all-time great player. She had a bad game. Get it through your friggin' thick skulls. Don't be so narrow-minded. When she scores 35 and 10 the next game, you guys are going to sit here, the friggin' haters, and say, well, look who she did it against. Every time she plays a great team. No, every team tries to D her up. Some nights she gets hers. Some nights she doesn't. But she's averaging 20-something odd points. She's only playing 29 minutes. If you add 3 to 4 more minutes to her playing clock, she's going to average anywhere from 24 to 25. In the game she's played over 29 minutes, she's averaged 25. Take your nonsense somewhere else on a Friday. But subscribe to the channel. But take your nonsense somewhere else on a Friday. I'm not having it with you. I've crushed her for an hour and a half. She choked last night. She had bad turnovers. She missed free throws. She was ice cold from the floor, but she is still a great player. You are allowed to have an off night. You're allowed to have an off night. My God, even Jordan missed. Bird missed. Miller missed. Great players have off nights, period. My goodness. Wow, theoretically a Disney movie. Whew. Man, Jackie, you're piling on. Expose, fraud, expose, fraud. Whew. You guys are rough on a Friday, man. She did not play well last night. That loss is on her. But let's be objective. Does coaching not play in the sports? Seriously. Here you go. Now we know Scott. I'm going to just leave this up here. Now we know Scott is a troll and a fraud. Now we know. The fact that you're right. She's a double-double machine, man. I'm so glad she made that FIBA roster. She's unbelievable. Oh, my goodness. She's the face of the league. I love the fact that it looks like when I watch her play, it's a friggin' Saturday at the YMCA. Let me throw it off the backboard. Hope it goes in and gets 16 rebounds. Now we know, Scotty boy. There you go. Now we know. Old Rich hates Angel every chance he gets. She has nothing to do with the game last night. I've actually came on the air and I've actually said I'm an Angel Reese fan. Like, now you're not being accurate. Now you're just trying to stir the pot, my friend. I've actually came on the air and said I'm an Angel Reese fan, but I also don't believe she's fundamentally skilled. She's a good rebounder, but look at how she gets some of these rebounds. I mean, she has no handle. She can't finish around the rim. So I'm not a hater. I don't hate any player. I don't. I'm critical of players, but I don't hate every player. And again, I've been killing Caitlin Clark. I killed her weeks ago. I killed her the other day, 19-10. I said she didn't have a good game. I mean, you guys want blood from me today on a Friday. Put Boston or Mitchell on Dallas, and they're also top 3 team. Boston? Okay, then Michael, what does that tell you? So maybe you're making my point. Does that not also tell you it's coaching too? Like, Boston to me is always MIA. She's an enigma. Q, you're hilarious. I love when you check these fools. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, listen, I got 700 comments. I love the fact that you guys are engaging. I'm all good. White should have left Lexi on. Yeah, that's up for debate. You're paying Lexi a lot of money. What is she bringing to the table? She's not bringing much to the table. I hope you do, Scott. I've never really been heard meathead before, but I hope you do. Because I think you're the one I think you are the guy last week that said you'll never chime in, and yet you still comment. So Scott 78D, I love it, brother. You know what? Yes, when they win a championship, I will come on. I will be the first one to give credit where credit is due. I will. I hope she's MVP. I hope she averages a triple-double. I'm all in, brother. I am all in. But you know what? It's funny because you just keep chiming in. Rent-free on a Friday edition of On Cue. Problem is Clark will be a no-show in the playoffs. Those teams will be tougher. Defensively, they always are. And they play differently. You know that. Absolutely. Jackie says, thank you for critiquing her because most of her fans. I'm not a fan. Like, I do this objectively. This is what I do. For those that are chiming in, I do sports talk. I'm on the radio. I'm on Odyssey. I call games stateside, overseas. I do TV work. I friggin' do podcasting. I do a sports betting pod. So this is my job. I have advertisers. I get paid to do this and come on and talk to you guys. And I love it and I enjoy it. I'm a fan of a lot of players. I'm a fan of a lot of sports teams, as you see behind me. But I'm also objective. I'm also a realist. My channel is not designed to wax poetic about one player or gloss over or glaze over a player. My channel is designed to give opinions, to be a little unfiltered, to talk certain subjects that others won't. That's why some of these outlets that I'm on allow me to do it, because people won't touch certain. We were talking the trans debate the other day. You know, some of these networks, some of these platforms that I'm talk away. So I'm not coming on this to be a friggin' fan. I don't get paid by the league. I don't get paid by these players. I don't get paid by the team. You see right there in the banner, this is where I'm at. This is where the show's on, all over the place. So yeah, this is not a show designed to just be a fan. That's not what I am. I've been doing this for 25 years. So when, like I said, when you got a goofball or a couple goofballs that kind of question you, Google me, you jackass. Go look at my resume and my body of work. It speaks for itself. My point is this. When a player stinks it up, or a player chokes, or a player has a bad run of games, guess what? You got to talk about it. You got to be critical. She'll bounce back. She's human. My God, don't be so sensitive, you friggin' Indiana Fever fans out there. She didn't invent the game of basketball. She had a bad game. I appreciate her game. I think she's a generational talent. But last night, she shoulders the blame. Collectively, yes, they lost. They blew a 20-point lead. Collectively, the coach let them down 100%. But if you want to be deemed the face of the league and the face of the franchise you knock down those friggin' free throws. You knock down those wide open looks. You get your ass back on defense. You don't have a miscue late. Those are all factual things that are not even up for debate. So like I said, when you try to be cute and you come on, I'm checking you. I'm checking you right at the front door. I can tell you that right now. I'm checking you right at the front door. So all you guys that hate, you were just waiting for her to have one of those games so you can come on social, you can come on shows, you can come on YouTube, and you can blast away. But if she has a run of games where she gets a couple triple doubles and she carries this team into the playoffs and they make a deep run, when she wins a championship, what the hell are you going to say then? Now, I'll go on the record right now. I don't believe this team is equipped to make a deep run. I don't believe this team is a title contending team. But for those that sit there and flap their guns and try to be cute, if they do win a championship, and let's say she's MVP of the finals, will you come back on the air? I don't think you will. You got a lot of bark, but you got piss poor bite, period. You got piss poor bite. You're waiting. This is all you wanted to do. You just wanted to wait for this kid to have an off night. And you come out of the fray like rats. You come out of the woodwork. Seriously. You come out of the woodwork. Let's be honest, CC was the only player trying to win. I just didn't like that last series. It was a bad series, and I hate what they did defensively. The coach, once you bring the ball across the timeline, once you bring it across midcourt, you got to call timeout there. Reset, have composure. That's it. And they couldn't do it. Paul, I don't know what to tell you with the whole Angel. I don't know. I've never, she literally threw it behind her back, off the mezzanine, bounced off the floor, hit the mascot, hit the rim. She got the rebound, and everyone thinks she's an MVP. I don't know. Go figure. Go figure. Gray's a beast. She shoots with confidence. That's the other thing. She shoots with confidence. Wow, you've been watching since 2020 basketball? All right, good for you. AB needs to work on her shot around the rim. Her mechanics are average at best. This is where I just... Yes, because she's eating her lunch. Wilson is a dominant force down on the low block. She's absolutely brilliant. She's got the body, she's got the frame, she's got the strength, and she knows how to friggin' finish. And few know how to finish around the rim like she does. And I'll give you another player, and I mentioned her the other day. I friggin' love this kid. I flat out love this kid. Malanga, the center for Seattle. She knows how to finish around the rim. And this kid is 20. She's 6'6". She's 20. She's a beast. She's phenomenal. She knows how to finish. She gets positioning. She knows how to box out. She waits for a back tip. She knows when to crash the boards. She doesn't put it too low to get it stripped. She keeps it high. Wilson does the same thing. Boston is an enigma. I can't figure her out. I can't. And I go back to when she had a clean look the other night and she refused to pull the trigger. Period. Would we be talking about coaching if they would have won? Yes, because if they would have won and got a last stop, you sit there and say, how the hell did they get in that position? Yes, 100%. 100% we would be talking about, because they allowed a 20-something to 4 run. They went away from their offense. That's on coaching. Yes, 100% we will be talking about coaching. They won in spite of the coach. Fundamentals. Fundamentals. Boston is 6'5". Gray is 5'11". Close up. Close in. Lock down. Get your hands up. That's common friggin' sense. Common friggin' sense. And you go back to Caitlin Clark, the late turnover. What did I say? Either be decisive or take a step back. There's no reason to force a pass there. It's a bad play any way you slice it. For those that sit there and say, I don't know ball or I'm a fanboy. It was a bad play any way you slice it. And as far as White, she is clueless. You're up. You make a run because of the catalyst. And then you go away from that and you allow other players to play hero ball. It's coaching. You got to get in their ear, hitting the effing basketball, or you're coming out. Another turnover, you're coming out. Don't get back on defense. You're coming out. If you can't shoot, you can't play defense, you have zero confidence in your effing shot, get off the floor. Get off the floor. She's not a good head coach, folks. She's getting exposed. You guys want to tell me every player or Caitlin Clark gets exposed against these great defenses? I got news for you. This head coach is getting exposed. Is getting exposed every night. Every night. Especially against good coaching. Caitlin Clark lost the game all by herself. It was a bad game. You're up 20 points. Close out the game. Maria, it's been a minute. Let me see what Maria has to say. Maria says, Maria, bear with me. I got to pull this up on the chat because I got like 1,000 chats coming in. What'd you say? One of the issues I have. Yep. No, these. You're bringing up a very fair point, and it's going to have to be addressed in the offseason. It's going to be have to address. You're going to have to figure it out. Period. How to address. Defensively, they made moves in the offseason, or lack thereof, right? And they couldn't really do anything at the trade line because they don't really have cap, right? So the size issue, that was very alarming and pretty evident against Minnesota. You can't do anything about that, right? You can't teach the size. Imagine you are the coach and you're watching your player get abused on defense. What do? Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, you make the friggin' adjustment. You double. You face guard. You bring in someone off the bench. You pick up a quick foul just to stop it. You got to give me a little more context. You got to stop the bleeding. I mean, Boston was in Wilson's face. And then in the third quarter, she had 8 points. In the fourth, she scored 14 to 17. There were no adjustments made, but that's also lack of size. They lack physicality. And if you're talking about Young going on Mitchell, you got to switch off. Defensively, guards in this league don't play a ton of defense. They just don't. Historically, you'll get a couple steals here and there, but I think it's manufactured. My problem really is not that. My problem is what they did to get the big lead and how quickly they relinquish it. That is coaching. And like I said, you also have the presence of mind, understanding that Gray just hit a big three. You don't want to turn the ball over. You don't want to give up a game-winning bucket. So once you cross midcourt, you come across half court, call timeout. Get poised, relax, draw up a play. Worst case scenario, what happens? They foul you? Or what? You run the play, you don't execute, and chances are they got 3 or 4 seconds to quickly push off the rebound and get it across midcourt, and you have a last gasp. That is coaching. They are a flawed team. They are not a very good defensive team. This coach was brought in to be what? A defensive guru. 8 missed assists by CeCe's teammates. But turnovers. Retro. You have to be fair. If we're telling the whole story, we have to be fair. They don't have a dominant presence that can bang underneath and go after they just don't. You think they do, but they don't. They really don't. You need a dog under the boards where your job, and this is where, for those that think I hate Angel Reese, the one thing is she's got length, she's got a body and frame, and she's got a nose for the basketball, even though she is horribly inept offensively. So she's a very good rebounder. I'll give her that. Offensively, her game is ridiculously limited. Let's just call it for what it is. But you're talking about some of the best rebounders in the league. What do they all have in common? They understand how to get position, whether it's Wilson, whether it's Austin, whether it's Shepard. Go watch this kid, Jessica Shepard. Go watch this kid. She's also been around the block. She's been in the league for almost, 6-7 years? She started her career in Minnesota. She's with Dallas right now. She's a beast. She's averaging 11 rebounds, 8 on the defensive side, which starts your transitional offense for buckets. And then offensive, she's averaging like 3.6. Second chance points, second chance opportunities. They don't have that on this team. Their size is exposed. Their lack of rebounding was evident and highlighted against the Lynx. They're not a physical team. So they might make a run based on the two offensive components of Clark and Mitchell. But when push comes to shove and teams start to now say, we're forcing you to half-court offense, we're going to body you up, our guards are going to face guard, we're going to go chest to chest, now try to go off on us, their offense is going to struggle come playoff time. You don't need to be a basketball savant to understand that. You just don't. You don't. There's no creativity. None. None. Don't give them a pass. The coach let him down. The players let him down. Clark let him down. Mitchell missed free throws. Boston didn't get a pull up late. You're paying Lexi how much for what? Last night, it's inexcusable. But maybe this is who they are. Like, I've had, Gen X hit me up and he said, I'm basically turning the page on this season. Okay. That's fine. And the other thing is this, again, think about this. When your offense struggles and you're trying to create your shot and find your shot and no one's willing to be a willing dance partner, like too much looking around ISO ball, that just totally kills your offense. It allows teams to get back into games. And that's what happened last night. You make a great run, you have a big lead, you don't get back on defense, and then what happens? Again, watch the game. Watch the game. She is not a good head coach. You're talking about running an offense where Clark and Mitchell are setting more screens for her than who? Boston. It just... And these players don't know when to clear out. How many times did we see the other night when you got guards penetrating, Boston's right there clogging up the lane? Get the hell out of there, man. And if you're the head coach, if you don't understand spacing on the floor, you're not playing. Last night, the last friggin' possession, without belaboring the point, the last possession that Caitlin Clark had the basketball in her hands, I'm not calling it hero ball, okay? You want to define it as hero ball, define it as hero ball. She draws out Wilson. At that moment, she has to decide, I'm going right to the basket, or if I get lucky and the defender slides over and cheats, I'm kicking it. And she decided to dribble, then think. You can't play the game like that. You can't. You cannot play the game of basketball like that. You have to be extremely decisive. And bad games happen. And I can tell you right now, this is not the first or last time they're going to have a monumental meltdown. This is not going to be the first or last time they're going to choke away a game. But can you clean up certain things? Like if you're up 10 with 5 minutes to go and you lose, you can kind of live with that. We know you're up 20 earlier in a game. Guess what? You're going to go ice cold. Teams are going to get hot. But the meltdowns late, the manufactured self-sabotaged ineptness of their defense or lack thereof and their inconsistent offense, that falls on, whether you guys want to admit it or not, coaching. It falls on coaching. When they were winning 5 games, we turned around and said, what? Well, coach of the month. People were like, no way, she's a coach of the month. Look who they beat, including Seattle twice. Oh, by the way, they were up 17 in that game. It's coaching at the end of the day. Coaches coach, players play, period. But you got to call for what it is. You got to call for what it is last night. Your franchise player did not play well. And it's great if you want to sit there and you're a fan of moral victories and say you took 2 of the top teams in the league, punch for punch. I look at it differently. I saw that your size, your lack of size is evident and you got exposed. And the other thing is that once they start to be more physical with you, this team is soft. That's another thing. They don't know how to respond to adversity. Now, that can be a mental thing. That can be coaching. And I don't know. I don't know why you're giving Lexi so many minutes. I don't get it. And Billings, I didn't even bring her up. You have to play the best 5 that give you the best chance to win the game. And what this coach is doing is she thinks I can have 2 to 3, mostly 2, and win games. It's not happening. She's not a good coach. You guys watch AAU, you watch high school, you watch JUCO, you watch college, you watch the NBA. You need ball movement. You need players to move, to players to get involved. When I call these games overseas, the friggin' ball never touches the floor. And what happens is now you're alienating players. They're getting pissed off because they feel as though they're not part of the game plan. You got players that play. Explain to me. You got players that coming off the bench playing 15 minutes and then all of a sudden they're shut down. No explanation. DNPs. It is throwing it against the sink and let's see what sticks. So for all those that can sit there and say, great coach, one win. She's not. This is a bad fit, man. And if they decide, your best bet is for this team to flop. To flop. And then decide if they give Clark the epic and you bring in a new head coach. And when you sit this head coach down, you know what you say? You say, give me your philosophy on this offense with these players. What do you envision? And if they sit there and say that, well, I think Mitchell's going to have to be the alpha option A and Caitlin's going to have to live with it, then you trade Caitlin Clark. You don't give her an epic, or you're not hiring that head coach. If you believe that Caitlin Clark is truly the face of this franchise and you can win with her going forward, then you have to decide, bring in a head coach that's not going to placate, that's going to coach them up, get her involved early and often, and Mitchell's got to understand at this point she can be the volume scorer, but she's also getting hers because Caitlin Clark is what? She's creating, she's facilitating, and Mitchell's allowed to do what she does best. Mitchell is a great player. I love when she goes to the basket, the way she uses her body. There's probably not another player in the league that gets as many as one opportunity. She's a physical player, stop and pop. She's a great player. But when I watched them sometimes on the floor, and early on when they were winning, it was a thing of beauty. Mitchell starts cutting to the basket, 2-man game, pick and roll, little curl. We're not seeing anything like that anymore. It's like going into a job and they tell you on a Monday, by the way, you need to file these reports like this. Okay. Then Wednesday rolls around. By the way, you need to file these reports a different way. It changes every single solitary time. Yes, you need to adapt as a head coach. Yes, you do need to adjust a little bit. But my God, start the best starting 5. Play the best 5. And roll the dice and live with it. And allow Clark to make some mistakes and not pull her off the floor. Because all that does is mind F with a player's mentality. That's it. I said it, Mark. I said it. That's a bad, mentally, that's the mistake. To try to get that passed over that size, and you're not chest passing it, and if you whip it in, you better make sure that Mitchell has position. You get it under those paws of Wilson. But where she tried, she waited too long. She overthought. All she had to do was put it on the floor, go to the basket. She's going to attack the Tim. They're at home, most likely in that situation. Maybe this is the one time she draws contact, she gets the foul. If it's not there, you drew the weak side defender, the rim protector, kick it out, and then it's in Mitchell's hands. And then that's a different story. And I still don't think if they missed that the Aces were going to have an opportunity to get quickly up the floor. I honestly don't think. I just don't. On the bench, DNPs. Remember they tried to sell us who the true guards were at times, or the backup guard, and all of a sudden giving her some burn? These were clean DNPs last night. Clean DNPs. We weren't seeing that a couple weeks ago. I think this coach has too many people in her ear, and I think she's really trying to placate Mitchell. She's trying to appease too many people, but I also believe she's holding Caitlin Clark back. It does not give Caitlin Clark a pass for a horrible game last night, especially late. Especially late. Yeah, the All-Stars mean nothing to me, man. It means nothing to me. It really doesn't. Boston's too much of an enigma. She's too much of an enigma. I'm telling you, you guys think Boston is this savior, man. She's MIA half the time. She's MIA. It's fundamentals. It's fundamentals. If she does, everyone threw in my face she's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Then how come she doesn't pull the trigger the other night? Because I guarantee you, if that ball is delivered back over to Caitlin Clark and she hesitates, you guys are freaking killing her today. You guys are killing her. You're killing her. Absolutely killing her. Oh, there you go, Retro. Someone agrees with me. I mean, that's a first. I mean, people think she should be in the friggin' Hall of Fame. Any other coach would have been fired by now. The networks, the rat ship, ESPN, they would have ripped her to shreds. You know why they don't rip her to threads? Because she's in a relationship with Lisa Salters, who works for ESPN. Period. And she also called games for ESPN. I've never heard one network be critical of this head coach, ever, or this GM. It's always about the player, number 22. Especially with that friggin' network. That little rat ship network. ESPN. Fever are back at 6 in the standings. Tossed 3 of 4 of the roster twice, and they're still in 6 for third season in a row. And that you hang around. But playoff time is a different animal. And right now, I just don't believe this team has the makeup to make a deep run and win a championship. I don't. They're too inconsistent, and they're not growing overnight. And the salary cap pretty much kind of hamstring them, right? The Hub stuff sucks. She's young. She blew it. Yes, her game won't prove because it is. CC always takes accountability. The coach sucks. There's another one that knows basketball. Assistant coaches need to be on the head coach. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that's not happening. The GM needs to pull the head coach to the side. Your best bet, again, your best bet is this. You got to get rid of this coach. Why are we not talking about the first 3 by Gray Boston cost it because she turned the ball over? I mentioned it an hour and a half ago. An hour and a half ago. And then she didn't close. She didn't close on the last shot. Don't fall in love. Don't fall in love with the whole all-star stuff, guys. Don't. Stop. Don't fall. Let's agree to disagree. And T, I agree. I'm agreeing with you in that regard. You know, Boston is such a mixed bag, and she had 2. She turned the ball over, yes, and it goes into Gray's hands and knocks down a dagger to force overtime. And then on the Clark turnover, what happens? She doesn't even creep out. She doesn't even contest a shot against a player that just forced overtime. Good enough to... Are you watching the same shit? Get out of here today, please. Stop. Just stop with the nonsense. Unbelievable. You guys just all want to look at the players. That's it. You just want to look all at the players. I don't know how you sit there objectively if you have any friggin' basketball knowledge and say this coach is good. Why? Because, she developed all-stars? Bullshit. Caitlin Clark was an all-star before she even stepped on the friggin' floor as a rookie. Just stop. Just stop already. Come on, man. The last play, no screen, ISO ball. That's all it was. That's all it was. You've got talent. So then, here, for all you friggin' experts out there, you hoops savants out there, watch the last clip. Watch the last clip. They decide the last friggin' play of the game to allow Clark to have ISO. No play call, no screen, no rub, no two-man game, no curl, just pure friggin' ISO ball. Here you go. And now we're killing her because she has a turnover, and rightfully so. So you've got talent, as you guys have pointed out. Then what is it? It's effing coaching. Wake up. Learn the friggin' game of basketball, please. Learn the game of basketball, for crying out loud. Don't come on the air with me on a Friday and insult 700 commenters' intelligence with a couple goofballs that think they know the game. This coach stinks, and when they get bounced in the playoffs, she's going to get fired. She will get fired because she's not good. But you guys want to sit there and placate and sit there and say it's the players, it's not the coach. Go watch another friggin' game. Get out of here with this nonsense. Just stop. Man, I can't believe how many passes you're giving this coach. I cannot believe it. I cannot. Shocking. I don't know who's on the payroll today. We got a lot of hellos out there. You guys are giving some good shout outs. I like that. Pete's not trolling as much. Joe chimes in, Q, you got to love the ones that sit there and say you're an idiot, but yet they've been hanging with you for 2 hours. Hey, man, that's all about views. You know what that means? Advertising dollars. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's all good. It is all good. I actually enjoy it because at the end of the day, it's sports talk. We don't get serious. Ever. Boston needs to make up her mind. Take CC out there in crunch time. Can't play defense. Live it up once you win. Talk about other teams when the players too. I'm not sure about that comment. Don't know where you're going with that one. D chimes in, Q, you're the only one that actually criticizes Clark. I mean, she's human. Humans make mistakes. She most certainly did. She held herself accountable. She said it's on her. She absolutely said it was on her. Retro, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It was a Friday. We have a free-for-all Friday later tonight. We dropped some great NFL content last night. Hall of Fame guy. I don't know. I just don't know. Chelsea Gray. Yes, she did. When a team goes on a 21 to run, it's on the team, not one player. Never should come down to one play, much less overtime. Correct. Coach also has to know when to call a timeout. And what do? Slow it down. Period. Let me see. That run. Oh, Jackie Young was unbelievable. I mean, I don't think you can't prove that. Come on, stop. You guys really just want to nitpick worse than me, which is actually shocking. Really is. Worse than me. But it doesn't matter. Once you get the ball across the timeline, that's where the timeout should have been called. Like, you have to get all your ducks in a row. Look, I get it. It's one highlighted play that we've banged that drum for over 2 hours. It just shows you how much of a polarizing figure she is and a talking point. Because you guys are basically like, you know, with all due respect, getting off on the fact that she had that turnover late. Right? Let me see. 22 goes off. No one says anything correct. I don't understand all the players at the three-point line, all the players clogging the lane. The scheme seems confusing to me unless CC is running the offense. She's not running the offense. She's not. She certainly is not. But it comes down to fundamentals and coaching. It really does. She made the mistakes. She's taken the hit. And again, like a quarterback in the NFL, when a quarterback plays well, what do? We give him the credit. When the quarterback plays poorly, you got to be fair, and you got to rip them. Sometimes the quarterback gets too much of the credit. Sometimes they get too much of the blame. Last night, it was a failure across the board with the lapses late, but her turnovers were highlighted to missed free throws. Mitchell missed free throws as well. It's a different game, but does it change? Even if they win, it still doesn't change her coaching philosophy. That is my ultimate point. It won't change this coach. She's made up her mind that she's basically letting the inmates run the asylum when it comes to this offense. There's no creativity. There's no set screens. There are no set plays, design plays, run. It's not. It's pickup ball. You can't win like that. You can't. So trust me, mark my words. When they get bounced and she gets fired, please come back on and let me know how great of a head coach she is. Two things are happening. Either they decide to move Caitlin Clark sometime, trade her, get her out of here, okay? Or they're firing the head coach. I just don't believe that these pieces to this puzzle, Mitchell, White, and Clark, can fit. I don't. And I don't care what happened last year. It's a different season. It's a different animal. Okay? That dog's not going to hunt. Period. Whatever run they had, they had. They did not address what they needed to address in the offseason. They couldn't do anything with the trades because they were very hamstrung by the salary cap. I mean, they just couldn't. And now they are paying the price. This coach, they've won in spite of the coach. Okay? And they will lose because of the coach. Players make plays, yes, but the coach is not helping them out. And like I said, with all due respect, if you don't see it, I am questioning your basketball knowledge. I am questioning your basketball knowledge, period. Because the teams that are good in the league, okay, the teams that are good in the league, they're well coached. Every player understands their role. I don't believe these players really understand their role. I just don't. And again, if you watch the games like you say you do, then you got to know, man. You got to know what you're seeing on the floor. The eye test. Read the friggin' room. Read the room. I don't believe players don't play hard because of who's on the floor with them. I mean, you're still a professional. You're getting paid good money. You're going to play hard. Do I think some of the players get disinterested at times on the floor? I do. Do they have mental lapses? Look, even in the NFL, tackles take plays off. Running back doesn't hit the hole as hard. I mean, it's just human nature, man. It's the wear and tear. This season is not grueling and taxing, but you're at home. This is a spot where you played well. You got the fan base behind you. You're taking away a, quote, moral victory from the loss of the Lynx, and you're up 20 against a team, and you're about to blow them out and run them out of the building. All of a sudden, you sit 22, and then Mitchell fires up a couple threes, and that lead dwindles down to 12, to 10, to 9. Now you got a 20-something-0 run, whatever the hell it was. And then Wilson, who's quiet through 3, dominates in the 4th. Young takes over. Then you have the mental lapses, the bad free throws, and the missed turnovers. And oh, by the way, you don't play defense late against Gray. That's your ball game. So, hate to break it to you, but coaches in those types of situations get criticized. If this is any other coach in any other league, they would be destroying her. And a lot of people are that know the game of basketball. They're not going to go far with this head coach. They're not going to go far with this core. You can feed me the BS about all-stars and all that crap. I don't care, man. I don't care. It's about what? Making a deep run into playoffs and winning a friggin' championship. This core, how this roster was poorly constructed, they figure, let's run it back, smoke and mirrors from last year, and they don't address what they needed to address. They don't have a perimeter. They don't have a big-time defender, a stalwart of a rebounder. They don't. They really don't. It's sandlot ball, man. It is. It's blacktop ball sometimes. I'm sorry. We're ripping on Clark all friggin' day today. I got news for you. Mitchell took some asinine friggin' shots. Selfish friggin' shots. Not even having the shot clock wind down. Just chucking it. She's got to know better. She's a friggin' veteran. Like, her points are going to come. So as much as I've ripped Caitlin Clark today, and rightfully so, Mitchell takes a little bit of hit. I don't see anyone on the thread sitting there saying she missed free throws too down the stretch, which would have iced the game. You lose as a team, yes. But the figure, the key component, happens to be number 22, who did not play particularly well, especially late. The whole, overall, the theme of last night, when you take a step back, was blowing a 20-something point lead, a 20-point lead at home to one of the top teams in the league because this coach decided to just basically, throw in the towel with her coaching. I mean, watch the game again. If you can't see it, you can't see it. You don't know basketball. She's not a good head coach. She's just not. I can't stand. I can't stand watching her on the sidelines. Brutal. I mean, is it so hard to just ask players to get friggin' back on defense and make a friggin' stop? So everyone's sitting there saying Caitlin Clark is flipping and flopping. Well, what about friggin' Boston? Get a hand in the face. What about Mitchell? Be disruptive. Come on. Defense, you got to have a want. Again, if you got no confidence, if you're not shooting the basketball well, if you're turning it over, you're not playing defense, get the F off the floor. But the coach won't do that. The coach picks and chooses. You can't win championships like that. You just can't. Jackie called him a CC Glazer. I never heard that one before. Man, you guys are... I can't... You know, it's going to be funny, too, when... I want that 35-10 game, and I want her to hit a couple of daggers. You did... Yeah, you know, this is... Thank you for bringing this up, Retro. Thank you for being the voice of friggin' reason. You had 10 friggin' players quit because of this jackass head coach. I'm telling you, man, when you guys get a thought stuck in your head, you guys just run with it, man. You just run with it. She is a toxic head coach. She is a toxic head coach. I don't give a crap what she did as a player. I don't care. I know her background. I watch this friggin' league closely. I get it. I've watched women's hoops for friggin' years. I don't give a crap that she came up the ranks as an assistant with Ball State and Kansas State, and she won with Purdue. When she went to Vandy, she was toxic. She sucked in that conference. She couldn't win games in that friggin' conference. Players were quitting left and right because of the toxicity, the bad culture. And then why? She turns around, she has a cup of coffee in the WNBA. Yeah, I get it. She was an assistant coach on a team that won, and she had success after the fact. I totally understand that. So then they gloss and glaze that in regards to her resume, her track record, and figured she's the perfect fit with this team. She is not. You need to accept it. She is not. She was horrible at Vanderbilt. Friggin' horrible, man. She was 13 and friggin' 54 in the conference. Players were dropping off like friggin' flies because of how this woman coaches and how her tone, how she treats the players, and all the other crap. So you guys sit there and say, ooh, well, look, she came back to Connecticut, and here we go. You know, you go to the playoffs and blah, 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 coach of the year, and then they finally part ways with her, and you had 2 playoff semifinal appearances, and then the Fever hire her, right? Second stint, here we go. She's the best coach in the league. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. She sucks as a head coach. She does. She's not my cup of tea. She is not my cup of tea. All right. By the way, for anyone that's interested, we did drop some football content on the channel. I'm throwing it out there. We did throw some football content out there. We might have a free-for-all Friday tonight. I do have to, for those that, know basketball knowledge, I will be calling overnight remote games overseas. And then we got the fights tomorrow night. That'll be in Philadelphia. So that'll be on Boxing TV, Millions, if you guys want to check out my call ringside. We might fire off tomorrow in the afternoon, but as I always say, I love the commenters. I love when you guys troll. I love when you come at me. At the end of the day, it is all in good fun. It is sports talk. Don't get it twisted. It's not the end of the world. Everyone will be okay. No problem, no problem, no problem. We never take it personal. Half the time after I scream at you guys, I chuckle and smile. It's all good. But for those that love to troll and keep commenting, hey, we're over 1,000+ comments. Thank you very much. Subscribe, check out the notifications. We're powered by our good friends over at Fresh Roasted Coffee, Play It Again Sports. Destin FM, we got a new show dropping there for those that are in the Panhandle. NSY Sports 48 in New York. The Sports Betting Pod, Back Your Play, that's going to be firing off next week. So for any of you bettors out there, we go very heavy with college football. We go extremely heavy with the NFL. Definitely check that out. That's on Apple, Spotify, Podcaster, Podchaser, Buzzsprout, all over the place. Give me a follow on X and IG at RichQonQ. And just do me a favor. If you like the content, if you want to break my balls every day when I'm on the air, please, that's fine. Hit the notifications, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you guys are coffee drinkers, 20% your first purchase of Fresh Roasted Coffee is on me. I'll put it in the show notes. We'll fire off some Q&As with the shorts. And as I said, free-for-all Friday tonight. Maybe a little rapid fire, 25 to 30-minute edition. Check the notifications. But I love each and every one of you guys, even the trolls out there. thank you for tuning in as always. We had a good topic of conversation. We have some more WNBA content on the channel. Yesterday, we went through the FIBA rosters. We also talked about some of these players that are overrated, underrated, just right. But like I said, yeah. Congrats to the CC haters out there. You guys got your fill. You got your blood today. 2 hours and 14 minutes. For the detractors, it's your day. Enjoy it. For the fans out there, I don't know what to tell you. Live to fight another day. But like I said, keep the comments coming. Be respectful. Troll at me all you want. Just be respectful to everyone in the chat. You guys are fantastic. Have a wonderful Sports Friday. We'll fire off for about 20 to 25 later tonight. As always, be safe, be sound. This has been On Cue. I've been your host, Rich Quiñones. We will talk to you later tonight. As always, hasta luego, buen día.